6, Cameron Nutt. Designated hitter, number 9, Tanner Hanna. In right field, number 4, Caleb Bujama. At shortstop, number 11, Cameron Frost. Third baseman, number 10, Bryson Adair. In left field, number 48, Reagan Hibbs. Catching, number 7, Chandler Ingram. And in center field, number 2, Cade Belusic. Available players for the Bears, number 21, Brock Widener. Number 1, Peyton Parsons. Number 15, Maxwell, and number 12, Farron. Head coach for the Bears is Cody Walker, assisted by Gary Purdy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand and direct your attention to the flagpole in center field as we honor this great nation, the United States of America, with the playing of our national anthem.
gets ready to step up to the plate. Well, good evening, everybody. This is Michael Francis alongside Karl Schoening tonight. I've got the pleasure of calling another game with Karl, and glad to have you here, Karl.
Hey, it's good to be here. You know, a little playoff push and tune-up games here as the Rouse Raiders get to take on the Bastrop Bears.
That pitch from Cody Van Clark in for a called strike. Vanoy in the leadoff position for the Raiders for the first time this season. The pitch misses low for ball one. That'll even the count. The playoff-bound Rouse Raiders, it is official, they have clinched a playoff berth. Pitch, fastball on the outside corner, swung on and missed for strike two. 1-2 the count to Mr. Vanoy. No score here in the top of the first. The pitch misses down and away for ball two. Catcher Cameron Ingram thought that was a strike. Was ready to throw it around.
So did a couple fans in the stands.
Pitch from Van Clark. Check swing and a foul. And the count will remain even at 2. Baseball time in Texas. It's a beautiful day for baseball. Not a whole lot of wind moving here tonight. Unlike the past few games. Fans obviously upset, but they're kind of sitting on the wrong side. That was definitely outside the strike zone.
Oh, yeah, that was way low and away.
Payoff pitch from Van Clark. Cut on and missed, and Vanoy is retired on strikes. 1 away, and that'll bring up the center field senior, Hayden Thomas. Bastrop, one of these teams that you just can't overlook. They have several one-run losses. The pitch sails high for ball one.
You can't really overlook anybody in baseball. It could be anybody's night any given day, especially with pitching like that.
Swing and a miss, and the count evens up at 1. Bastrop Bears, their field is nicely situated here in the area. It's popped up and is going to go out of play for strike 2.
Ooh, that was close. You always make chase after those balls, and the architecture could have easily made that a little bit of infield, but luckily that results in out of play.
I want to thank our hosts tonight, Bastrop, allowing us to set up in their press box and keeps us from setting up other equipment and trying to find a spot outside. That pitch cut on, fouled out of play over toward the batting cages. And the count remains 1-2.
It's always appreciated when you can, get a little shade and all those kind of things for our broadcast. Have a nice setup here with a good view of the strike zone.
The 1-2 pitch. Again, down and away. A breaking ball. Misses low. And that'll even the count up at 2. And Clark picks up the sign from Ingram. Toes in on the rubber. This was cut on and hit out to left. This could be trouble. It's over Reagan Hibbs' head, and Hayden Thomas will be in with a stand-up double. I believe that Hibbs lost it in the sun. The western sun is definitely playing havoc with short, third, and left. Hayden Thomas with a stand-up double.
Rouse pitcher number 23, Jared Southern.
That'll bring up the pitcher, number 23, Jared Southern. Jared Southern had a career night last Friday night versus Elgin, as he was responsible for all 4 runs that scored. Pitch misses down and away for ball one. Southern drove in 3 on a home run, and then was the check swing in the dirt, and let's see if he rings him up. And it's going to go as ball 2. 2-0. The count to Jared Southern.
Yeah, then they got a late appeal there, and field umpire was ready to say it was a ball. Didn't break his wrists across the plate.
2 balls, no strikes to Jared Southern. Hayden Thomas extends his lead there at second. Swing and a miss from Southern. On a letter high fastball on the outside corner. And Cleric checks Thomas back at second. He delivers. Down the middle, changeup for strike 2. Count evens at 2 for Jared Southern. 1 on, 1 out. No score here in the top of the first. The pitch gets the outside corner, and Jared Southern is retired for out number 2, and that'll bring up the right fielder, number 55, Dalton Porter. Rouse Raiders dressed in their road unis tonight. They're in their maroon tops with black letters bordered in Las Vegas gold, in their white pants with black piping, black and stirrups with white stripes. Inside pitch for ball 1. And their black ball caps. Bastrop in their home whites, pinstripes with maroon, maroon stirrups, maroon ball caps, maroon lettering. It's hit down the first baseline. That's going to get by into right field. Thomas around third. He will score as Porter gets an RBI single to put the Raiders on the board.
Exactly what you needed there with 2 outs, just a base hit and run scored. And exactly what Rouse wanted to do in this top of the first, just at least get on the board and take care of business and score that lead, that 1-out double.
That'll bring up the first baseman, number 20, Lance Little. Porter gets a lead and off down to second on the hit and run, and he will return on the foul.
Yeah, he beat me to it. Hit and run was on, and you can see that the Raiders playing a little bit more aggressive here with the 1-run lead now, and they'll take that quick little strike here to start off this 2-out at-bat with nobody in scoring position.
Well, Coach Crimpine, he'll be the first to tell you that he's going to be aggressive on the base paths.
It's a good way to be if you can afford it.
If you can afford it, if you got speed, speed kills. And Clark picks up the sign. He toes in on the rubber. The throw over to first will not be in time, and Dalton back in, standing up. And Cleric comes set. The pitch, that's outside for ball 1. The count will even up at 1. Virtually no wind as the flag is just sagging on the staff. The throw over, not in time as Porter dives back in, which is so polar opposite to what we've had to deal with the past few weeks, where it has just been a blistering wind, so much so that it's affected the pitcher and the batting. This is hit down the line to first. Mark Willoughby has it, will step on the bag, and the Raiders' half of the first is complete. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. The Rouse Raiders have a 1-run lead, and on to the bottom of the second we go. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Welcome back for the bottom half of the first. The Bastrop Bears leading off will be number 20, the pitcher Cody Van Cleric, followed by number 14, the first baseman Mark Willoughby, and second baseman number 6, Cameron Nutt. And I hope all these names are correct, as they didn't get the lineup to us in time. I got it just moments before the ball game started, and so the lineup card didn't have first names on it. It had last names only, so I tried to catch them as they were going through the lineup. So I'll make any adjustments necessary once we hear the PA come over again.
Lineup with the last name is better than no lineup. I've had to work games where it's like, well, we'll just go along with it, you know.
Now we've got a perfect storm going on between the fight for 2 songs.
Number 20, Cody Van Cleric.
Cody Van Cleric stands in. He has a brother that you may find familiar, played for Cedar Creek. He lays a bunt down the third baseline. Caleb Diaz has it, throws over in time, and Van Cleric is retired. Great play by Caleb Diaz to barehand the ball and get it over to Lance Little in time. Yep. 1 pitch, 1 out for Jared Southard, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Mark Willoughby.
You know, they call that the hot corner over there at third. In that case, it wasn't so hot as much as it was you need to react just the same, and nice quick reaction, got a close play at first.
Fastball inside for ball 1 as Willoughby takes. The umpire's calling time. I'm not sure what he was asking of Southard. The wind and the delivery. Fastball, he's painting that inside corner, but he is not getting the call. That's 2 balls, no strikes to Willoughby. The pitch, fastball down the middle for strike 1.
Yeah, he was going to give him that one.
2-1 the count to Willoughby. The pitch from Southard, swing and a miss, and that'll even the count up at 2. The pitch from Southard is cut on, fouled back. And Willoughby stays alive. The pitch from Southern, a breaking ball, in for a strike as Willoughby cut in on it and tried to check his swing, but He got rung up
Number 6.
on strikes, and that's 2 away, and that'll bring up Cameron Nutt, the second baseman. That pitch in the dirt and to the backstop for ball 1. I do like playing in these venues where you have that small town feel around you. I grew up in a small town. Fastball just misses the outside corner.
Yeah, he's not
ball
really
2.
He's not really giving him that outside half of the zone, but now definitely Bastrop out of all the local schools has the most hometown, small town feel in it.
Wow. I have to tell you, folks, I'm not sure where this guy's strike zone is, but that was right down the pipe. He's rung up ball 3. I'm not seeing where he's missing here. The pitch, fastball down the middle, same location for a called strike.
Yeah, that right side of the plate is almost a blind spot for the ump, it seems like. Just not going to give it to him.
The pitch, breaking ball, misses low for ball 4. And Nutt draws the walk.
Bastrop designated hitter. Number 9, Tanner.
And that'll bring up the designated hitter, number 9, Tanner Hanna. He is hitting for the not the shortstop, but center fielder, number 2, Cade Belusic. Jared showing great composure his last outing, and when he wasn't getting favorable calls from the umpire, he really held his composure and pitched well and overcame it. That pitch fouled out of play for strike 1. Spoke with his parents after the game and told them, just how much I had thought he'd improved over his past couple of outings, and it was good to see. Hempel has it, throws over to first, and the side is retired. After 1 complete, it's your Rouse Raiders 1, Bastrop Bears 0. No runs, no hits, no errors. And on to the second we go. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
No runs on no hits.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're set to get the second inning started. Number 11, Robbie Ramos-Caro, will lead off the second for the Raiders. Ramos-Caro hit short. The pitch from Vinclaric gets inside for ball 1. The pitch gets the outside corner. Well, I guess there goes our argument, Karl, that outside corner is a blind spot for him. He called that one on the outside corner.
Only in the first inning.
The 1-1, it's in the dirt for ball 2. 2-1, the count to Ramos Karl.
Isn't it funny how when the inning changes, so does the strike zone sometimes?
Sometimes. The 2-1, check swing, he held up, and he's rung up. Umpire says he went around, and that'll even the count up at 2. 2-2, the count. Van Cleric from the stretch into the dirt for ball 3.
Works in cricket.
It does
bounce
work.
Bounce it into the strike zone.
Except that's not called pitching. That's called bowling, right? That's a liner back up to Van Cleric. He lobs over to Willoughby, and Ramos Karl is retired for out number 1. That'll go 1-3 on the putout for out number 1, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, John Dominguez. And again, he is hitting in place of the third baseman, Caleb Diaz. This was popped up and kind of in a Texas League triangle right here. Center fielder, Cade Belusic, over and makes the catch. And down goes Dominguez for out number 2.
That curveball got hung up a little bit, and he got a hold of it, just couldn't quite get the right spot and for a line drive, pop up instead.
That'll bring up the left fielder, number 14, Cody Kelch. The pitch. It's the outside corner for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch, fastball down the middle for strike 2. And Cleric comes set. And the wind. This is curveball that he sits on, and he puts it into left field. That's going to be a single for Cody Kelch. Back, well, not quite. I'm sorry. I was about to say next, back to the top of the order, but we're not. We've got one more batter left in the order. That'll be number 2, Nick Hempel.
That's the little wrinkle that we were talking about in the before the game got rolling, that he's moved to the 9 and kind of a second leadoff that some teams do.
Kelch on his horse down to second. Throw not in time, and Kelch dives headlong into second for the stolen bag. Pitch missed low for ball 1.
And Cleric's arm maybe backed up a little bit.
He's trying to keep it live, I guess.
I guess there was a little conversation there on the third baseline here before Hempel comes back to the plate.
Well, they've changed the count. He called it a strike, not a ball. Yeah, that's hit into left field. That'll be a base hit. Kelch, he's coming around. He'll be cut off. And Hempel gets in with the hit and the throw to home to second base. That'll be a single for Hempel. And he took second on the turn and the throw home. Raiders have taken a 2-run lead here in the second. 2 hits so far in this inning. Back-to-back singles. That'll bring up Cody Vanoy. Cody struck out his first at bat. He takes for ball one. The 1-0 from Vinclaric is swing and a miss for strike one. As Hempel extends his lead there at second. He returns on the strike. 1-1 the count to Cody Vanoy. Vinclaric picks up the sign from Ingram. Swing and a miss for strike two. One on with 2 outs. 1 run has scored here in the top of the second for the Rouse Raiders. 1-2 the count to Cody Vanoy. Vinclaric toes in on the rubber. He comes set. Hempel kind of going back and forth. Fouled off. And Vanoy stays alive.
Yeah, Vinclaric almost ignoring Hempel back there, and doesn't seem like anybody up the middle is really interested in trying to cover second. They just want to get this final out and get out of the second.
Well, Coach Krempine will take advantage if he's not even getting a look from the pitcher. The 1-2, this is fouled off and out of play. And Vanoy stays alive. Wow, that must have
that was quite
been
the
a
foul
mile
ball.
long foul ball. Hit the horse way back in the stables. The 1-2, this is fouled off.
I wouldn't be surprised to see any stables around these parts, though. They got this ballpark not particularly close to the high school. It's on the other side of the highway.
So I don't know if you noticed running through the sports headlines at yesterday, longest at bat ever took place, 21 pitches.
I saw that, yeah, ever since they've been recording it, so that was kind of crazy.
Swing and a miss, foul tip into the glove of the catcher. And the Rouse half of the second is done, but they score 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. And on to the bottom we go, Rouse leading Bastrop 2-0. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Number 4, Caleb Bujima will lead off the second for the Bastrop Bears. He will be facing number 23, Jared Southard. Southard has a sign. He deals. This is a fastball. Back up the middle. Hempel has it over to Little at first. And Bujama is retired to start the second.
Back-to-back 1-pitch, 1-outs beginnings for Southern.
And that'll bring up the shortstop, Cameron Frost. Bottom of the second, Raiders lead 2-0 here in Bastrop. Pitch from Southern, fastball is fouled off for strike one. Nothing in one, the count to Frost. The pitch, breaking ball, sails high for ball one. That'll even the count up at 1. Got chatter going on in that Bear dugout. 1-1 pitch, curveball. Wow. I thought nicely located, but
That's just been inside by the umpires.
the 2-1, that sails high for ball 3.
Yeah, a lot of chatter going particularly towards Jared Southard from the dugout.
The 3-1 pitch, this fastball, it's fouled back out of play and heads over the press box for strike 2, and the count works full. I think he's kind of gotten a couple of unfavorable calls in this at bat that definitely could have gone the other way. The payoff pitch, curveball, fouled off.
Well, when you're a hard-throwing righty, sometimes you just got to hammer away at that strike zone or what you hope is the strike zone, and you have to deal with these foul-offs.
Let's keep it downhill. The 3-2 sails high for ball 4. Southern gives up his second walk, and that'll bring up the third baseman, number 10, Bryson Adair.
Number 10, Bryson Adair.
One on with one out for the Bears here in the bottom of the second. As Bryson Adair steps in. As he takes strike one, a nice little breaking ball from Jared Southard. Southard working, really trying to find the umpire's strike zone as it seems to move.
Yeah, a little fluctuation in size. And he wants to also keep the base runners close as he has one.
The 0-1 pitch from Southern, fastball in for a strike. And Adair down in the count, 0-2. The 0-2 from Southern, swing and a miss, and Adair is retired.
Teammates working hard for their friends at bat.
2 away for Reagan Hibbs, the left fielder. Not sure if he said Leighton Hibbs or Reagan Hibbs. Over the PA, the walk-up was really loud, but I'm sticking with Reagan. That's back up the middle. Force on the fielder's choice. And the side is retired. That'll be fielder's choice and out on Cameron Frost that goes for you on the putout. Well, after 2 complete, The Rouse Raiders lead 2-0. No hits, no runs, no errors for the Bastrop Bears, and on to the third we go here in Bastrop. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Welcome back as we're getting ready to start the third inning. Leading off for the Raiders will be the center fielder, number 10, Hayden Thomas. Thomas with a double his first time up.
Leading off the third for Rouse. Center fielder number 10, Hayden
Thomas will be followed by Southard and Porter. And Cody Van Clark back on the mound to pitch the third for the Bears. Trailing 2-0. Just misses on the outside corner for ball one. Off-speed pitch from Mr. Van Clark. 1-0 the count to Thomas. Pitch, a breaking ball in for a strike. And that'll even the count up at 1. Pretty good crowd here tonight. This is hit up to the right field, and Thomas, with his second hit of the night, has a single and a double to his credit. And that will bring up Jared Southard, who was caught looking back in the first.
Yeah, not quite a packed crowd, but definitely good show from both sides, especially the Rouse people. You know, this is a little bit of a longer drive, so happy they fought the traffic to come on out here.
Outfield shading Southard to left. Thomas extends his lead at first from the stretch. His pitch sails high for ball one. So Rouse may do some of their own little trash talking. They're not averse to doing so. Pitch down and away.
Nothing quite gets you riled up about talking trash and from one dugout to the other was, you know, like the other team starting it.
Right.
I don't think our crowd mic is strong enough to pick it up, but you might hear a little bit of it.
You might hear a little chatter. And Clark comes set. Southard calls time. As Van Clark was taking an inordinate amount of time. He's trying to keep Hayden Thomas tied to that base. The pitch, curveball hangs for strike or for ball 3. 3-0 the count to Jared Southard. Dalton Porter on deck for the Raiders.
Do you take or do you swing if you like it?
Well, I think right now you got to take. He hasn't put a strike yet. And that should have been ball 4 as the catcher had to catch it above his head. And he hasn't called that a strike all night long until then. 3-1 the count to Jared Southard. Thomas breaks for second. And Southard fouls this one off. And count goes full.
Yeah, that changeup would have probably resulted in a stolen base, except Southard liked what he saw and decided to swing, just couldn't quite find the right positioning on it, fouls it off.
Another hit and run call for the Raiders. And this one backfires a little bit. Payoff pitch, that sails high for ball 4. And that'll advance Thomas to second. Number 55, Dalton Porter, stands in. And I will let you know who is courtesy running for the pitcher in just a moment. It could either be Stephen Connie or Ethan Moore, and I believe that that is Stephen Connie that is courtesy running for Jared Southard. Two on with no outs here in the top of the third. Raiders lead 2-0. Porter bunts and fouls it off, and he's not real happy about that.
Yeah, good time to try and sacrifice and place that down to third base line, but just got underneath it a little bit too much.
Porter with a single that scored Cody Kelch back in the first. Then Clark comes set. He delivers, and Porter extends his bat out for the bunt, and he'll be rung up for strike 2. 2 strikes to Dalton Porter. No outs with 2 runners on for your Rouse Raiders. Lance Little on deck.
Guess that bunt sign is off here in this situation.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to do that on a third strike. The 0-2, this is hit down the first base line. First baseman goes over and tags the bag to get Porter, but the sack bunt will move over Connie and Hayden Thomas.
You'll give him the sack bunt, the same effect, I guess, the general rule as the official scorekeeper.
1 away for the Rouse Raiders and Lance Little as he comes to the plate, and Coach Crimpine will have a word with him.
It's funny, after all of that, he does get what he wanted off of the bunt, so
yep,
it helps out the cause in a different way, and this is the best situation that the Raiders have had all night in the base paths, even though they've scored 1 run in the first 2 innings.
Ingram gives the sign. Then Claret comes set. The pitch. Curveball in for strike 1. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, that was a really nice power curve. It's hard to read where that fell in the strike zone, so he just went for it.
0-2 to Lance Little. Then Clark comes set. The pitch, a curveball, and Little sits on this one and puts it into left field. That's going to score Hayden Thomas, and Stephen Connie will hold up at third. Lance Little with an RBI single. As the Raiders have scored at least 1 run in each inning so far. Ingram calls time, and he wants to go talk with Van Clark, and I will take this opportunity to share with you people a story, a sad story that I spoke with a friend of mine today, and I would ask that you, if you would, lift up a prayer for the Campbell family that lost a 2-month-old grandson this weekend. They believe it is possibly Sid's death, but that he could have gotten tangled up in the blankets, and it's under investigation as far as that goes, and the autopsy will reveal exactly what happened. Robbie Ramos Karl lays down a bunt. He gets away from Vinclaric, but he gets it and gets the out, but that'll score Stephen Connie. A sack bunt for Robbie Ramos, an RBI sack bunt for out number 2.
The Raiders bring back the squeeze play, and they score 2 runs in this 3rd inning.
Lance Little standing at second, 2 outs for John Dominguez. The pitch, curveball, in for a strike. Raiders have been doing a good job of sitting on Vinclaric's curveball. Raiders have taken a 4-run lead here in the 3rd. They've scored 2 on 2 hits. The pitch from Vinclaric, a fastball. This is thrown back down to second. Will not be in time, and Little is safe. And Dominguez down in the count, 0-2. Vinclaric picks up the sign from Ingram. The pitch. This one is fouled back out of play. And Dominguez stays alive. But if you would, please just say a prayer for the Campbell family during this time of sorrow and grief. It would be greatly appreciated. Family has had a run of bad luck, and this doesn't help. Swing and a miss for John Dominguez, and that'll end the Raiders' half of the 3rd, but they take 2 runs on 2 hits and no errors and extend their lead by 4 over the Bastrop Bears, 4-0. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Welcome back. Cameron Ingram set to lead off the bottom half of the 3rd, the home half of the 3rd for the Bastrop Bears.
Number 7, Cameron Ingram.
Raiders lead by 4 as Jared Southard is on to pitch the 3rd. Fastball in for strike 1. Pitch, curveball in for strike 2. Beautiful, beautiful curveball from Jared Southard. Had a lot of break in it. That was more along the lines of what you'd expect to see at a 12-6. Whoa.
He lost a hold of that one.
He lost that one off the tips. A fastball that sails over everybody's head to the backstop. 1-2 the count to Cameron Ingram. Ingram, the catcher for the Bears. Southern winds and fires. This is hit back up the middle. Karl has it. The throw over to first in time. What a play by Robbie Karl.
Yeah, he read that perfectly. That bounced twice into his glove. It took one hop and then a second quick hop, and he wasn't phased by that second one at all. I could see that easily slipping by most defenders, but he read it perfectly and recorded the out.
6-3 on the putout, and that'll bring up the top of the order.
Number 20, Cody Vinclaw.
And Cody Vinclarik. Vinclarik grounded the third. His first at bat he takes for strike one. Again, a nice looking breaking ball from Jared Southard. The 0-1 pitch in the dirt, gets by Cody Vanoy on the wild pitch. That'll even the count up at 1.
You never really want to take a hit by a pitch, but you definitely want to take one from Southard. He will leave a bruise.
The 1-1, this is fouled off for strike 2. Yeah, you definitely don't want to get hit by one of his fastballs.
The one that got away on the last at-bat, that looked like, one of those, if you didn't duck out of the way, you might have had a concussion.
The 1-2 pitch. That's in the dirt for ball 2. Southard with 2 strikeouts on the night so far. The wind and the delivery. Fastball up high for ball 3, and the count goes full. The payoff pitch. Curveball. It's in on the hands. It's popped up and playable. Hempel calls Little off, but Little makes the catch. That could have been dangerous. But Little manages to hang on to it, and Vinclarik is retired.
I suppose as long as the out's recorded, there's no harm and no foul.
Yeah, there will be some discussion as to who makes that and who has the call off on it in that area. Pitch misses high as Mark Willoughby stands in. Willoughby struck out back in the first. The 1-0, a swing and a miss for strike 1. 1-1 the count to Mark Willoughby.
Going back to that play, though, and, that's one of the things where, just random little things where trying to decide who gets the call on those pop-ups would come in handy in a playoff game, because they'll talk about that in film session, I'm sure.
The 1-1 pitch, curveball, just misses outside or inside for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Willoughby. Fastball down the middle for strike 2. Interesting little critters here in the press box. Crawling all over me. I'm not sure what they are. Deuce is wild. Oh, and Southern thought it was definitely a strike and walks off, but the umpire did not call it, and the count goes full. The pitch, curveball in for strike 3. And Willoughby out on strikes. Well, the Bears score no runs, no hits, no errors. And they go 1-2-3. And the Raiders lead by 4-0 here after 3 complete. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Schoening Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Schoening Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Schoening Hip Network and SHNSports.com.
Well, the sun is setting here in Bastrop, and the lights are on, and shadows have disappeared from the field with the setting of the sun. And Cody Kelch is going to lead this inning off for your Rouse Raiders. Cody Kelch, 1 for 1 with a single back in the second. He also scored. He is one of the runs on the board. Pitch popped up and fouled back out of play for strike one. The 0-1 from Van Clark, that's going to bounce into the dirt and back to the backstop for ball one. I'd like to take this time to remind you that the Raiders have secured a playoff berth, and when the playoffs begin, we will no longer be able to stream live video. We will bring you audio only due to UIL restrictions, as they own the broadcast rights for all of Texas playoff baseball. 2-2 the count to Cody Kelch. The pitch from Van Clark and misses outside for ball three, and the count goes full. And Clark comes set. He delivers a swing and a miss from Kelch on an outside pitch for out number one. That'll bring up the second baseman, number 2, Nick Hempel. Pitch, fastball, gets the outside corner for strike one. Hempel with a single. Back in the second. Pitch upstairs for ball one.
A lot of break on that curveball, just started a little too high.
The 1-1, that bounces in the dirt to the backstop for ball two. Cody Vanoy helping out his on-deck fielding percentage. Oh, and the umpire just blew his. And a fielding error by the umpire on the on-deck fielding percentage. No bueno. The 2-1, that's outside for ball three. 3-1 the count to Nick Hempel. Beautiful night for baseball, Karl.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing part of twilight right now.
Base hit, ball four, and Hempel draws the walk. That'll bring up the leadoff in Cody Vanoy.
It's a shame that the view of left field isn't quite right behind center field, because it's just gorgeous over there on the left side of the field right now.
It really is.
Texas Hill Country.
One on with one out. Cody Van Clark on the mound for the Bears. And Clark comes set. The pitch is down and away for ball one. And Critters are back.
Mm-hmm. Seems like they might have made a little nest underneath that little spot in the board there.
Starting to get some heebie-jeebies here. Throw over to first. That's going to bounce over to the fence, and that's going to have Hempel around to third on the error. And it will be a throwing error on Van Clark.
You know, I thought he was kind of taking a little bit of a casual trot around second, but he had plenty of time by the time he kind of put his brakes on into third.
Hempel's got some wheels. He definitely got moving pretty quick.
Yeah, he's faster than he looks, I guess.
Pitch in for a called strike, and the count goes even, 1-1. He's deceptively fast. It's like Bastrop has got a reliever warmed up. This is popped up and playable. Frost over, makes the catch, and Vanoy is retired. That'll go F6 on the pop-up.
Yeah, that takes away the opportunity for a sacrifice fly, and it'll be a base hit needed to score.
That'll bring up Hayden Thomas. Thomas with a single and a double. The pitch from Van Clark in for a called strike. Raiders have scored a run every inning. As he lays a bunt down, he's going to try to run this one out, and he does. That will score. An RBI bunt for Hayden Thomas.
Well, the squeeze play used for the second time in this game, and in that particular case, just the sacrifice fly was gone. They thought they would go for the squeeze, and a two-out squeeze results in run number 5.
RBI bunt for Hayden Thomas. Thomas caught stealing as Jared Southard was at the plate. Clark spun around and threw Thomas out. I think that Coach was hoping to either catch him in a balk or not looking. So caught stealing. That'll go 2-6 on the putout. Oh, wait a minute. I got to correct my. After 2.5 or 3.5, it's your Rouse Raiders 4-0. They score, 5-0. They score 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. And on to the bottom we go, and we'll just keep it here.
They kept up their trend of scoring every single inning, and in that particular case, that bad throw over to first resulting in the ball going to the fence made the trend continue. So it's been interesting watching how these Raiders have scored differently all season long, and they take advantage of any miscues that the opposition gives them. That's the one thing I've noticed about Rouse. They're a real smart team. And while we have a chance, I might even just sneak in a quick little view of the left field that I was talking about for you guys at home. It's a nice little view of the hill country. You can ignore the bus barn, but it's a beautiful setting out here in Bastrop. As you were saying, kind of small town feel, real hometown feel in a way.
Leading off the fourth for the Bears will be the shortstop, second baseman, number 6, Cameron Nutt. Nutt drew a walk back in the first. I said shortstop because his number was 6, and I saw 6. That fouled back to the fence for strike 1. Nothing in 1, the count to Nutt. Southern winds, he comes home. A curveball in for strike 2. Beautiful 12-6 curveball from Jared Southard. The pitch, swing and a miss, and 2-3 on to complete the strikeout.
Designated hitter number 9, Hannah.
Southard has gotten the leadoff batter out in every inning so far. Number 9, Tanner Hannah, the designated hitter, stands in as he takes ball 1. The pitch from Southard outside on the breaking ball for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Hannah. The pitch for Southern, a fastball upstairs for ball 3. Raiders holding a 5-0 lead over the Bears. Fastball down the pipe for strike 1. The count goes to 3-1. Well, I meant to ask you earlier, Karl, were the hamburgers as good as they smelled?
To be nice, they were, they got me to buy them. The smell got me to buy them, and, I was hungry, so I ate it.
The payoff pitch. Swing on a miss. And Vanoy gets it down to first to complete the strikeout. 2-3 for out number 2. So the lure worked.
The lure worked.
And it tasted like a concession stand hamburger.
Yeah, and I got some Cracker Jacks. I haven't had Cracker Jacks in a while. I need to open them.
Pitch misses low for ball 1. Well, I have to admit that I stopped by the convenience store the other day and I picked me up a diet soda. Don't tell my wife. And a bag of Cracker Jacks, and it was the bigger bag, not quite as it was bigger than that one there, but it was good. I still think it tasted better coming out of the cardboard box.
Oh yeah, way back in the day. I don't know if they do that anymore. Maybe they do. I
haven't seen Cracker Jacks in a cardboard box in forever. 2 balls, no strikes is Caleb Bujima stands in. He ducks out of the way that pitch for ball 3. Southern winds and delivers a fastball down the middle for strike 1. A little bit of breeze starting to come in through the windows. Thank goodness.
I was about to say, much appreciated.
Wow, I'm not sure where that missed, but ball 4 as Bujima draws the walk. 1 on with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cameron Frost. Drew a walk back in the second. And so Coach Crampine goes out to the mound to talk to his hurler. Make sure that he gets through and competes, as Coach calls it. So I just want you to get out there and compete.
Yeah, I wonder if Southern is on somewhat of a pitch limit, in terms of they got the playoffs coming up, and he has a 5-run lead right now, and if he starts to lose a little bit of control and starts to throw a few too many balls, he might be on a short leash just because he has the playoffs coming up more so than being concerned about completing a shutout.
Well, he doesn't have anybody up in the bullpen. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Cameron Frost.
Open line of communication is always good, I assume.
Pitch. This is fouled back out of play for strike one. Southern has faced no more than 4 batters in any inning. The 0-1, swing and a miss from Frost for strike 2. Nothing and 2 the count to Cameron Frost. The pitch, curveball, swung on, he's out. First base was occupied, and that'll end the 4th for the Bastrop Bears. No runs, no hits, no errors. Your Rouse Raiders lead 5-0 here in Bastrop. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Due up for your Raiders in the 5th. That will be Jared Southern, Dalton Porter, and Lance Little. As we're set to get the 5th frame started. I do like that song. Most people recognize it from Despicable Me. I like the actual music video myself, and just because it's all different types of people dancing and enjoying life and having a good time. So
happy, right? Don't need to look it up.
I like it. Cody Van Clark back on to pitch the 5th as Jared Southern hammers one down the left field line and goes foul for strike 1. Defensively for Bastrop so far, no changes that I can see. The 0-1 pitch, that's in the dirt for ball 1. So been in a competition here of late myself. City of Austin is promoting a Fitbit challenge. Pitch, that's hammered down. That's the third baseline. That's out of the in and out of the glove of Bryson Adair. As it was hammered, they're going to give him an error since it was in and out of the glove. So we'll credit Southern with reaching on the error as Dalton Porter comes to the plate. And that should be Stephen Connie, courtesy running for the pitcher. Number 55, Dalton Porter stands in. He has a sac bunt, and he scored an RBI single. Pitch inside for ball one.
I noticed you had a Fitbit as well. We both kind of wearing our Fitbits.
Yes. And so I decided to participate in this, me and a few of my coworkers in my work group. Porter fouls this one off for strike one. And my wife, to her amazement, has been surprised that she has been behind me going on 3 weeks now. And I tell you, my wife, she walks 18,000 steps a day. And Porter hits this one out to right center. This is going to be a stand-up double. Stephen Connie is waved around third, and he will score. And I tell you what, Porter has the hot bat.
Yeah, the Rouse base runners are getting their steps in as well.
First baseman, number 20.
So I've had some high step days. I've had one day of 26,000
Oh my
plus.
goodness.
And I'll tell you what, that wore me out, buddy. It took me 3 days to recover from that. Pitch in the dirt, and even right now I'm standing at 19,495 steps.
Oh wow, that's great.
On the day.
I don't think I've ever broken like maybe 12,000. So that's, or what am I at? I'm only at like 2,000. I've been lazy today.
Well, it gets tough if you're in an office environment, and I am. I'm kind of 50-50. I do a lot of field work and some office work. When I'm at the office, I walk the parking garage. This was popped up. It is playable. Second baseman Cameron Nutt over to make the catch, and Little is retired. One out. Go F4, but it was more toward the right field line. And that'll bring up Robbie Ramos-Caro. And grounded out back to the pitcher and has a sac bunt, RBI sac bunt. This is hit down the third baseline. This is going to go into left field. That's going to score Dalton Porter. And the Raiders have taken command of this game. They have opened it up to a 7-run lead. Line score for the Raiders, 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors. And Bastrop, no runs, no hits, no errors. Bastrop calls time, and they're going to come out and talk to their pitcher.
Yeah, it could potentially be the end of Enclaric's night.
Due up for the Raiders, John Dominguez. And Cody Kelch. One on with one out here in the top of the 5th. You Rouse Raiders lead 7-0. And maybe eyeing the run rule.
Yeah, it's 8 after 5,
It's
is that right?
10 after 5.
Oh, 10 after 5.
And they've retired several games this season on the run rule.
Might be 8 after 6, is that right? Oh, they're having their fun right there on the dugout. Well, they were dancing a moment ago in the batter circle. They're clapping along to the deep in the heart of Texas.
I have to admit, I like this song myself. Kind of festive. Gets that
It's a great baseball song, in my opinion. I know
Yeah.
it's not for baseball, but I feel like if you're in Texas, you should play it during the baseball game at some point.
Well, I could actually hear that in AT&T Arena down in San Antonio.
I went to Texas State, so anytime they say deep in the heart of Texas, all the fans yell state afterwards.
Pitch misses outside for ball 1 to the designated hitter, John Dominguez. Dominguez 0 for 2 on the night. He is flown out to center and grounded out to first. Pitch misses outside for ball 2.
Guess Van Clark staying out there, but he just had a couple pitches just missed that strike zone.
This one's cut on. This is hit out toward deep left. It's high in the sky, and it's caught. Can of corn by Mr. Reagan Hibbs, number 48. 2 away, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Cody Kelch. And Clark has a sign. The pitch upstairs for ball 1. Kelch 1 for 2 on the night. He has a single and a strikeout. 1-0 pitch, fastball low for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 runner on with 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Kelch calls time as Clark taking his time. The pitch, that's upstairs for ball 3. 3-0 the count to Cody Kelch, and I think if you're Kelch, you're going to have to take all the way on this one. The 3-0, that's in for a strike, and he took all the way.
I always like to say those hitter swings are swing if you like it, but I guess sometimes teams have designed 3-0 count calls.
That pitch fouled back out of play and is now gone full.
Sometimes that's the team philosophy, you know. Just take on 3 straight balls for the 4th pitch. I wonder what is the case for Rouse here.
The payoff pitch, that's fouled back to the fence. And Ramos Karl will make the trip back to first. Kelch stays alive. And again, the payoff pitch from Van Clark. It's swung on and missed right down the middle for out number 3. Rouse scores 2 runs on 1 hit and no errors. And on to the bottom of the 5th we go with your Rouse Raiders leading the Bastrop Bears 7-0 here in Bastrop. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Due up for the Bears in the 5th. Bryson Adair, Reagan Hibbs, and Cameron Ingram.
Diana Carl, we found a cell phone of yours in the press box.
Well, press box jiving, I believe. Jaime Caro be Robbie Ramos Caro's dad about a cell phone that was found.
Well, as long as it gets back to him, that works.
Leading off, the third baseman, Bryson Adair. Check swing, and he holds up for ball 1. Adair struck out back in the second. He's 0 for 1. This one goes foul, and that'll even the count up at 1. Again, a very still night here in Bastrop in their final home game of the season. Pitch sails high for ball 2. 1-2 the count to Jared Southard. Excuse me, 2-1 the count. Pitch misses away for ball 3.
Yeah, these kids can sniff the Rouse Raiders can sniff the beginning of the playoffs. It's just around the corner, probably next week.
The 3-1, a swing and a miss, and the count will go full. As there was no question whether that was going to be a strike or not. And the payoff pitch for Jared Southard. The breaking ball misses low for ball 4. And for the first time tonight, Bastrop has gotten their leadoff on base. And that'll bring up number 48, Reagan Hibbs. 1 on with no outs here in the top or bottom of the 5th. A swing and a miss from Hibbs for strike 1. Southard comes set from the stretch. Pitch just misses outside for ball 1. That'll even the count. Adair extends his lead at first. The pitch, swing and a miss from Hibbs for strike 2. 1-2 the count to Hibbs. Hibbs batting from the left side. The pitch misses for ball 2. That'll even the count. Adair again extends his lead. The pitch, this was fouled off. And the count remains even at 2. Southern delivers. Curveball in for strike 3, and Hibbs is caught looking. 1 away, and that'll bring up the catcher, number 7, Cameron Ingram. Ingram 0 for 1 on the night. He's grounded to short by on that fantastic play by Robbie Ramos Caro. And the leadoff position back in the 3rd. 1 on with 1 out as Ingram takes for strike 1.
Interesting time to show bunt with a runner on first and 1 out. Guess try and get him in scoring position.
Southern comes set, and he deals. This fastball, this is hit down to Little at first. Throw over to second in time for the double play, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors And after 5 complete, it's your Rouse Raiders 7, the Bastrop Bears nothing. You're listening to Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. We go. Your Rouse Raiders leading the Bastrop Bears 7-0. Well, Karl, we've seen some good pitching coming from Jared Southard, and his past 3 outings has really improved his game, and this comes at a great time where the Raiders are coming into the playoff season, and they've really established 3 pitchers that they go with, and that's going to be the ace Hayden Thomas and Jared Southard and Robbie Ramos Karl.
Yeah, and that's probably the most important thing going into your playoff season, just making sure that you know who your guys are going to be starting, and Raiders have a really solid bullpen as well, and, postseason is ruled by the pitching because hitting sometimes, once you get deeper into the playoffs, the pitchers are also really good, so you might not have the same consistent hitting you've had all year, but if you can be a consistently strong starting pitching team, that puts you in any game, any series for the playoffs.
Number 4, Patrick Sosa comes into the game. A substitution made for Nick Hempel. Pitch in the dirt for ball 1. And to believe that we do have a new pitcher in the game, and I don't think that they've mentioned his name yet. The pitch misses for ball 2. Widner is his last name. I do not have a first name. Widner deals for ball 3, as that one was up and out of the zone. Raiders have some activity going in the bullpen. Number 7, Seth Francis getting loose. The 3-0 from Widner, that's upstairs for ball 4, and Sosa draws the leadoff walk. That'll bring up the catcher, number 1, Cody Vanoy.
What was it we were saying once upon a time, how random made-up stat about 80% of leadoff walks come around to score? So maybe that's how the Raiders get their run here, as they've scored a run in every single inning.
Widner comes set. He delivers. This one's chopped on and fouled off for strike 1. Cody Vanoy 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a fly out, a pop-up to short. Widner picks up the sign from Ingram. The pitch, that's down and away for ball 1. That'll even the count up. I'll try to look to see if maybe Clark has been put in the field somewhere. I don't see him yet. Fouled back to the fence for strike 2. 1-2 the count, and I assume that this young man's name is Brock. I hear fans calling Brock. So Brock Widner on the mound for the Bastrop Bears. The throw down to second will be in time as Sosa is caught stealing. Two 6 on the putout. 2-2 the count to Vanoy. This one is fouled back out of play, and the count will remain 2-2. Hayden Thomas on deck for the Raiders. Pitch just misses the outside corner. And the count goes full.
Now that ump's been consistent about that right side of the plate for the most part of the night.
For the most part, he has.
Or at least for both teams.
Payoff pitch. This is in dirt. Wide for ball 4, and Vanoy draws the walk. Courtesy runner, and we'll let you know who that is. Looks like that is going to be number 22, Jamison Slater.
Number 22, Jamison Slater. Now batting center fielder number 10, Hayden Thomas.
Number 10, Hayden Thomas. He's 3 for 3 on the night with a bunt, a single, and a double. This is popped up and goes foul just over the top of the press box for strike 1. Throw over to first will not be in time as Slater dives back in. Nothing in 1, the count to Hayden Thomas. The pitch, that's in the dirt, and Slater is down to second. On the wild pitch. And it's popped up foul for strike 2. One and 2, the count to Hayden Thomas. 1 odd with 1 out, a runner at second base for the Raiders. The pitch, that's upstairs and out of the glove of Ingram, but Slater will hold at second base. Count evens up at 2. Appears that another substitution will be made. Bryce Ward is on deck. The 2-2, a swing and a miss from Hayden Thomas on some high cheese. So he strikes out for the first time tonight. That'll bring up the right-handed batter and number 13, Bryce Ward, third base. But he is hitting for the pitcher, Jared Southard. As he takes for ball 1.
Good opportunity here building these leads to get these other guys in because you never know when you might need them in the playoffs.
The pitch misses for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Ward. Widner comes set. And he's taking some time, and he steps off the rubber. Had to rethink his options as Jamison Slater extends his lead at second. The pitch outside for ball 3. 3-0 the count to Bryce Ward.
You figure there's another take all the way.
That's in for a strike. As you called it, he took all the way. 3-1 the count to Ward. The pitch, this is popped up and goes foul out of play for strike 2, and the count goes full. Raiders have a 7-run lead here on the top of the 6th. Brock Widner delivers a swing and a miss from Bryce Ward, and that'll retire the side. No runs on no hits, no errors. And for the first time tonight, the Raiders go without scoring in an inning. That'll bring up the Bastrop Bears, but the Raiders lead 7-0 after 5.5. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Lead off the 6th for the Bears. Bastrop trailing Raiders by 7 here in the 6th. Yeah, somebody really likes Frozen.
Yeah, you know,
you don't see that in a baseball player usually.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Left-handed batter takes for strike 1.
I know at Texas State they give the freshmen, the upperclassmen decide the freshman music, and it's usually along those lines.
Pitch misses outside for ball 1. Count evens up. Van Clark 0 for 2 on the night. The 1-1 pitch, that's down the middle for strike 2. And El Fuego still dealing. The pitch, that's off the glove and to the backstop of Cody Vanoy for ball 2. We have another Raider getting loose. Looks like it may be Peyton Driggers. The 2-2 pitch fouled off. And the count will remain.
Yeah, despite Southard's stellar evening on the mound, I get the feeling that, you know, just to save his arm one extra inning of work, he might get taken out there in the 7th, but we'll see. He's done a really good job on the mound so far tonight.
Well, depending on where he's at in the pitch count, I don't know that Coach would pull him out with a strike, and McClark is retired.
Yeah, he's got a special night going on, so I don't know if he would be taken out quite away, especially after that strikeout.
That is strikeout number 8 on the night. Pitch in the dirt for ball 1. As number 14, Mark Willoughby, the first baseman, comes to the plate. 1-0 to Mr. Willoughby. In for a called strike. Count evens at 1. Pitch misses low for ball 2. And I'm not sure, that may not be Peyton Driggers. That might be Connor Bennett. But I didn't see his name on the lineup card. 3-1 the count to Willoughby, who takes for strike 2. And the count works full. As I believe that JV games after tonight were canceled.
Oh, really? Was there a particular reason for that?
Well, I believe that the season ends the last night of varsity, so I'm not sure how that actually works, but I did receive an email that said that there would be no JV games beyond tonight.
Interesting. And now they get to come up here, select a few of them.
The payoff pitch, that's fouled off into the Bear dugout. And Willoughby remains alive. Pitch in for strike 3 as Willoughby was caught looking. That'll bring up the second baseman, number 6, Cameron Nutt. I believe that I have solved my pitcher dilemma down there, my relief pitcher. It's Stephen Connie getting loose.
Oh, okay. The guy who's been courtesy running tonight.
Yes.
This evening.
Breaking ball in for a called strike. For strike 1. Nutt has a walk and a strikeout. Fastball up for ball 1. Southern really showing a lot of composure here tonight. Curveball, wow, just misses for ball 2.
Yeah, the Bears dugout has been quiet since that first inning. For the most part.
He's making good pitches. He's just not getting the call. 3-1 the count to Cameron Nutt. Fastball, that's popped up, playable. Hempel comes in, makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. And after 6 complete, it's your Rouse Raiders 7, the Bastrop Bears nothing. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Due up for your Raiders in the 7th will be Dalton Porter, Lance Little, and Robbie Ramos-Caro.
Leading off the 7th for Rouse, number 55, Dalton Porter.
DePort stands in from the left side as he faces Brock Widner for the first time tonight. And pitch inside for ball 1. Widner picks up the sign from Ingram. And from the stretch, this is cut on. This is hit over to the second baseman. The throw over will be wild. And I'm not sure if Porter missed the bag or what, but he got back in time. So I'm going to give him the hit as it was really deep.
Yeah, that was a rough play for the second baseman. I was actually surprised that he caught it, and then I was even more surprised by the heads-up move by the catcher to prepare for the overthrow, because had he not, well, I guess Porter probably would still be at first, but there might have been an opportunity to get him out at first, because it seems like you said, maybe he didn't touch the bag. He scampered back there quickly.
Number 18, Matt Bazemore, will stand in from the left side as he takes for ball 1. This will be Bazemore's first bat of the night. Porter with the leadoff single. Pitch down and away for ball 2. Widner facing back-to-back lefties for the first time tonight. 2-0 the count to Bazemore. This is popped up into shallow right field, the left field. The shortstop, Cameron Frostover, makes the catch, and Bazemore is retired. One out, one on for number 22, Jamison Slater. The pitch, that's in the dirt. Ingram keeps it under his feet and holds Porter to first. Swing and a miss from Slater. And the count evens. One and one, the count to Slater. The pitch, that's outside for ball 2.
Someone's having a good time in the Raider bench.
Somebody. 2-1 the count to Slater. The pitch. This is inside for ball 3. 3-1 the count to J-Mo. The pitch. That gets the outside corner for strike 2. Count works full. Runner at first with one out. The pitch from Widner. That's in the dirt for ball 4. And that'll bring up number 9, Caleb Diaz, who will be hitting for himself.
Third baseman, number 9, Caleb Diaz.
And in my opinion, he has one of the better eyes on the team. He can really see the baseball coming out of the pitcher's hand very well. Pitch outside for ball one.
As if on cue, because that was a close one. I would have swung at it.
I probably would too, but I would probably swing at a lot of stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're standing there at the plate, it's a whole different feeling. Pitch upstairs for ball two. Two and 0 the count to Caleb Diaz. The pitch, that's in the dirt and to the backstop, and Porter's on down to third, and Slater down to second. Runners at second and third.
Yeah, Slater hesitated there, but wasn't much urgency on the Bears' part to really get anybody out, so they just accepted that the base runners were going to advance.
I think at that point it was defensive indifference, as Ingram really put forth very little effort to get back there to get the ball. 3-0 the count to Caleb Diaz as he takes for for strike one. Three and 1 the count to Caleb. Runners at second and third. This one's hit out towards left. That's going to be over the left fielder's head. That's going to go to the fence. That'll score two, and Caleb Diaz with a two-run double. Bastrop fan having a little fun, said y'all aren't ready for this comeback, and that'll bring up number 42, Stephen Connie. He will be substituting for Cody Kelch, or pinch hitting most likely. Widner comes set, the delivery. It's misses low for ball one. Pitch upstairs for ball two. Nick Hempel on deck. This is in on the hands. Throw over to first, and Connie is retired. He tried to check his swing. That's going to go 1-3 on the putout.
Number 2, Nick Hempel.
Nick Hempel comes to the plate. He re-enters. He actually re-entered in the bottom of the last inning. That squibs away from Ingram on the wild pitch. Ball one. Rouse Raiders will continue tomorrow evening as they will play their swing and a miss from Hempel for strike one. That'll even the count up. They will play their final regular season home game versus the same Bastrop Bears. It will be senior night. Broadcast time may be starting early tomorrow so that you can watch the senior night festivities and say goodbye to the class of 2018 as they play their final district home game of their careers. 1-2 the count to Nick Hempel. Pitch outside, that'll even the count up, and I will be among them. My son will be graduating, and so we will be down on the field. I will be with my wife and son.
Yeah, we'll have to be sure to start that early.
The 2-2, that's in the dirt, but not far enough away from Ingram as he really got on his horse to get back to that ball. And it's now a full count to Nick Hempel. Runner at third with 2 outs and a full count. The pitch, this is fouled off back to the fence, and Hempel stays alive. This is hit out to deep left. And Reagan Hibbs over and makes the catch to retire the side, and that'll finish the Raider half of the 7th. The Raiders extend their lead to 9. They score 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors. And on to the bottom of the 7th we go with your Rouse Raiders leading 9-0 here in Bastrop. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Back on to finish this game. He's back on to pitch the 7th. And he will be facing Tanner Hanna, Caleb Bujima, and Cameron Frost. Raiders do have a substitution. Number 42, Stephen Connie, now playing in left field. That'll bring up, well, Cade Belusic will be hitting for himself here in the 7th as he takes for ball 1. Southern toes the rubber. He deals a fastball. It's cut on and missed for strike 1. That'll even the count. One pitch from Southern. That's upstairs for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Cade Belusic. Swing and a miss for strike 2, and again the count evens. Southern rocks and fires a fastball down the pipe for strike 3, and Cade Belusic caught looking for out number 1. That'll bring up number 4, Caleb Bujima.
You think he's an Aggie?
I think that's a long one.
Yeah, that's the prize of Texas.
The pitch, swing and a miss from Bujima for strike 1, which could just as well mean something for Southern being a UT commit.
Yeah, exactly. I think he got a little bit more out of that walk-up than Bujima.
The 0-1, that's in the dirt for ball one. That'll even the count. Fastball just inside for ball two. 2-1 to count to Bujima. The pitch, swing and a miss for strike two, and Bujima way behind on that pitch. The 2-2, that's in the dirt, and the count works full.
Yeah, Southern, as we talked about earlier, it would be pretty painful to take one of his pitches, and that one was not an exception to the rule.
Well, that was down around the feet. Can you imagine getting hit in the foot?
Wouldn't be able to run.
No muscle on there. Swing and a miss, and Bujima goes down on strikes. 2 away as Cameron Frost comes to the plate. Frost has struck out and walked.
And Frost is walking up to Frosty the Snowman. I'm sure he got that growing up.
I'm sure he did. Something about Christmas music in the spring, right? Swing and a miss for strike one. Southern dealing a fastball. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch for strike two. Southern 1 strike away from ending this game. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball in for strike three, called. Southern has just pitched a no-hit shutout against the Bastrop Bears as he goes strikeout, looking, strikeout, strikeout, looking. 1, 2, 3, go the Bears. No runs, no hits, no errors. And congratulations to Jared Southern on the complete game. No-hit shutout versus the Bastrop Bears as the Raiders shut them out 9-0 here on their home field.
Yeah, that was quite an amazing performance from Southern, and doesn't let a base runner get past first, I believe, is what we talked about earlier. And, you know, he dominated from start to finish, and he got the run support, but he only needed 1 run tonight, and that was just a great performance. And I'm happy that SHN Sports had it here live and archived immediately for YouTube and everybody that Jared Southern knows to, you know, go ahead and share it with, because that's quite an amazing accomplishment. And we were talking about it. Do you go ahead and maybe bring somebody in relief in the 5th or 6th inning? But he had a no-hitter, so he stayed out there, and he kept it rolling.
Stayed out there and comes in clutch and strikes out the side in the 7th to end the game. And Southern with 12 strikeouts on the night. He gives up no hits, no runs, and no errors.
Oh, that
Congratulations on the no-no by Jared Southern.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was great to see. I'm happy there was a rain out so I could come in and watch that game. Or the postponement, I should say.
Right. Well, I'm always glad to have you alongside, Karl.
Oh, it was a fun night tonight.
It was a fun night. So, player of the game nod definitely goes to Jared Southern on the no-no for tonight. He got plenty of support from his teammates on the offensive side and putting 9 runs across the plate. So, like we mentioned earlier, tomorrow night will be senior night, and we will have senior festivities going on, and look for the early start tomorrow. I know there's been communication going back and forth with Scott Mount, our Booster Club president, and Rob Hipp on being able to secure I believe Brad Tillery, if he can make it early enough for the game tomorrow to do a 6:15 start. So from Bastrop, this is Michael Francis and Karl Schoening wishing you a good night, and congratulations to Jared Southern on the no-hit shutout as your Rouse Raiders take the first of 2 from the Bastrop Bears, 9-0 here in Bastrop. We will see you tomorrow night from Leander on the campus of Rouse High School. So for Karl Schoening, this is Michael Francis saying good night, everybody.